So I think he's ready to go. Great.
I am ready to go. Hi, everyone. We're making an Alberta tourtiere. And if you're a French Canadian or joining us from anywhere else in the province, I know this is not traditional. It's going to be okay, though. We're going to get through it together. Tourtiere, if you're unfamiliar, is a savory meat pie that comes from Quebec. Like wine in Quebec, there are all these different regions, and each tourtiere is different from region to region. Some are made with ground pork, beef, others just use braised game, others use a combination of the two. And if you make this for your French Canadian grandmother, she will tell you it's wrong, but it's okay. It's still going to be delicious. We are using Alberta chicken. You can go down to a farmer's market, pick up chicken from Sunrise Gardens or anything like that. It's awesome. I have broken down my chicken, and I'm going to kind of take you through it here. I've got 2 boneless, skinless breasts, 2 drumsticks, skin on, bone in, 2 thighs, skin off, bone out, and I've got all the skin right here. It's going to be boring for you to watch me cut chicken, so I already did it. Breast, thigh, and I've kept my drums whole. I'm going to grab the pan, I'm going to add it in, and we're going to talk about it. Big old pot. Add your drumsticks, whole, thigh, and breast meat. Add salt and pepper, give it a stir, and let it sear. Now this process normally takes around 45 minutes to an hour, depending on your stovetop. So there's going to be a couple moments here where, through the magic of television, things get cooked faster. But the good news here is I'm going to give you instructions that your chicken at this point, you don't want to cook it all the way. You want to cook it to medium rare. Don't eat it, but it is going to braise as you continue to cook your protein. So while your chicken is searing, we're going to slice an onion. It doesn't matter, sliced or diced. If you're a crier, I have a trick. And if you're cutting onions right now with me, grab a stainless steel spoon, put it in your mouth. The stainless steel, for some reason, I don't know science too well, it attracts the enzymes coming out of the onion. And those fumes don't hit your eye. They are actually all collected right here. So, spoon in your mouth while you're cutting an onion. It works. Also, we're going to slice some garlic. You can also just crush the garlic and keep it whole. Then you're going to add this into your pan. Give it a quick stir. I'm searing the chicken in a bit of cold pressed canola oil. Again, readily available in supermarkets and at your local farmer's market. While the onions sear with the chicken, we're going to use the mushroom, and we're going to thinly slice it. Some tourtieres are quite smooth. And if they use like all ground pork or something, you'll get a similar consistency and mouthfeel all the way through. I like having big chunks of gnarly bits in my tourtiere. So big cubes of chicken, the actual drumsticks, I'll show you what we do with those later. Big wedges of mushroom, and we have a couple more fun flavor bits in there as well. The reason why tourtiere is a traditionally French-Canadian holiday dish is it's seasoned with cinnamon, allspice, and clove. which are Christmas ingredients. When your tourtiere is baking, your house will smell like Christmas. When you have your mushrooms sliced, we're going to add them to the pot as well. If you're breaking down your own chicken, you're going to end up roasting it in the oven and creating a stock out of it. So you'll be left with the carcass and or wings of your bird. Give these a roast in the oven, put some color on them. Even if you have leftover veg from all your prep work here, roast those with this, then boil it or simmer it on your stovetop for about 90 minutes. You're going to end up with a really nice, clean chicken stock. Anyone have any questions at this point? Perfect. Our onions, mushroom, and garlic are cooking. I'm going to actually grab the pot and show you.
Sorry, Steve, there was some questions here. I'm
Okay.
on the ball here. Would it make a difference to sear the chicken in the pot you use in the fond? Oh, maybe that's
You should put your chicken in the pond.
in the pond. I know. I don't think you meant fond. F-O-N-D.
H-O-N-D. Pond.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that one meant. Oh, you in the dish that you were with all your. Never mind. Let's skip that question for now. Okay. The blackened stuff when it sears. That's, I guess, this question from Nate. Anyways, well, to get that question, we'll go to the knife question. What sharp knife are you using?
From our friends at Knifeware. Calgary and Hamilton have fantastic knifeware stores. Go and pick yourself up a Christmas treat, Japanese handmade knife. It too gives you the confidence to cook like a professional.
Great promo.
Tell them I sent you.
Okay.
I've pretty much, I think I've put Kevin's kids through college already. Like,
great. Yeah. Great Christmas gift.
Gorgeous.
For sure.
Yeah. I think going back to that first question with black bits at the bottom of the pot.
Yeah.
If he's talking about my pot, it's a Teflon pot. I'm sorry for everything. But if you have your chicken sticking to the bottom of the pot, we're going to be deglazing with wine here in a minute, as well as when your onions and mushrooms enter the pot, they're going to let all their moisture out. That's why adding a little bit of salt here helps as well, because it pulls the moisture out of the vegetables and drops it on top of that pan. So it's already starting to deglaze. And I hope maybe that's where we were going with that. Keep your heat right now. I've got my heat on very high heat because I only have 30 minutes. When you do this recipe and you're taking your time and drinking some wine, medium high heat, and I'm on a double burner electric stove. I hope that helped.
Yes, I think so. Yes, exactly that.
Awesome.
Can you sear it? Yes. There you go.
Okay.
Good question. Thank you.
Great question. I'm going to turn you guys down. Boop. So we're getting a little bit of color on our vegetables. For the purpose of speed, I'm going to deglaze now. I would normally cook this a bit longer, but, you know, we got a lot to do. This is going to go back on the heat. I'm going to add a little bit of red wine. I'm using red wine because I'm pretty sure people in Quebec just don't make a standard chicken tourtiere. And they don't make an Alberta chicken tourtiere. I'm stealing a couple ideas here, and this red wine idea is me stealing the idea of a coq au vin, which is chicken braised in bacon and red wine. So that red wine is going to help with our flavor profile, and it's in the pot right now, and I'm going to reduce it by half. I mentioned earlier the chicken skin. When you have, if you're breaking down your own chickens at home, that's fine. You can end up with chicken skin. Cold pan, touch of olive oil, and maybe a little bit of salt on the bottom. Add your chicken skins. We're going to create a crispy garnish for on top of our pie. Low to medium heat. Don't move them. Again, I'm in a Teflon pan. If you're using a stainless steel pan, you might want to think about actually lining that stainless steel pan with a bit of parchment paper. Place your chicken skin on and bake it for 350 for about an hour until it's golden and crispy. Our end product is gonna look like this. And it's super crispy.
Okay, I think I know the answer to this question, but could you use canola oil?
Absolutely. Yeah. You can use any oil you want, except for, well, I don't want to judge, but if you use sesame oil, you're just gonna have a different flavor profile. Extra virgin olive oil, I don't like using for a searing process because it has a low smoke point and you may start a grease fire. And also, if your oil's too hot, it's gonna burn and it's gonna come through your flavor. And when you're doing something with braising, where flavors don't leave, they only get enhanced, that burned olive oil flavor that you first started with is only gonna get louder through your braising process.
Great.
So yes.
Thank you.
Canola oil is fine. Perfect. Okay, we're gonna add a little bit of stock and we're gonna add a handful of blueberries. Alberta, use Saskatoon berries. And I'm using dried figs. If you have a crabapple tree out back and you've dehydrated some crab apples or any kind of fruit, add them here now. They're gonna add that richness of flavor. And again, berries and stuff like this go really well with chicken. Into the pot. We're gonna also add a bit of thyme. And a bit of rosemary. Into the pot. Now, these times are changing, and there's a lot of ways that you can thicken up this mixture. Right now, it is quite soupy. It's got, let's go to angle 2. There we go. It's a little watery. It's kind of coming together. Also remember, it's only been cooking for 5 minutes. Don't judge me. There are some traditional methods that can be used to help thicken this mixture. One is you can take that old loaf of sourdough bread that's dried out on your counter, rip it up, and add it to your mixture. The bread will break down and it'll leave its gluten behind and thicken your mixture. However, in this day and age, where 1 in 3 is a celiac, a potato. We are going to grate a potato. And it is going to use its starch, potato starch, and it's going to thicken our liquid for us. Similar to mashed potatoes thicken up soup if you have them